Okay, well, looks like we've got some audience members now. Again, hi everyone. Thank you for being here. I guess we'll get started because we've got a lot planned for this hour. Uh, Thank you everyone for coming. I'm Miss Timmy, if you don't already know me, and I'm the director of the musical theater department at Wharton Institute. And today is our second of our Wednesday webinars at Wharton series, which is super exciting. We'll be here every Wednesday of the summer through the end of August from 4 to 5 p.m. Today we have with us our wonderful performing arts school teacher, Miss Lilli Marques.
Hello.
Yeah, I was like, you can talk. Lilli and I were just talking before the webinar began, and Lilli has been with us for about 10 years. She teaches our drama classes, famously On-Stage Teens and On-Stage Kids. We love her. She's one of the most popular teachers that we have. She is not, I mean, most of you probably only know her as an educator because that's how you see her, but she's also an amazing performer as well. I've had a chance to see her in shows before, and it's such a treat. And I know that everyone always gets to know our teachers at the Performing Arts School as just their teachers, and we're directing you. And this is a great chance through the summer for you all to see what else our teachers are doing and about their lives and how they got started and how to started a career in theater or music. So we're super excited to talk to you, Lilli. Welcome.
Yay, thank you so much.
Okay, so 1 second. So Lilli, do you
Yes.
want to just get us started with, oh, I don't want to spotlight my video. I want to spotlight your video. Would you like to get us, the first half, we're going to talk about you, right? And we're going to talk about your experiences in your career and your thoughts on theater education. And then in the second half, we have some audience participation stuff planned. We have some students already set that are going to come on and join you for some exercises and games, right? And then, so if you are in the audience and also might like to join us, you can chat me in the question box, or I'll open it up, and maybe if we have more than 3 participants, that would be great too. So be thinking about if whether you maybe want to be on screen. Okay, so Lilli, do you want to just get us started by talking a little bit about how you first got into theater and the performing arts?
Sure. Okay, so my earliest memory of when I saw something on stage and I said, I want to do that, was at the age of 14. So I wasn't a little kid who saw people on TV or commercials and said, I want to do that. It wasn't like that at all for me. I have a lot of my little students who they know this is what they want to do, and they're like 7, 8. For me, it was a little bit later. I was actually on a cruise with my parents, with my family and my brother. And every night on cruise ships, they have those performers who perform some dancing and acting and singing for, the people who are traveling. And it's the same group of people, but every night they have like a different theme or whatever. And I would go to those shows every night, and I was blown away at how the actors were so talented, and one night they were singing, and the next night they were doing some kind of drama. The next night they were like doing magic tricks and whatever. And so that was the first like performing thing that I saw, that I was like, wow, this must be the life. Like, this looks like so much fun. So on my last day on the cruise, I kind of became friendly with some of the actors just because they were so friendly, and they were there throughout the day, like working around, like on the ship and stuff. I became friends with one of the actors. His name was William, and he was from England. And he said, are you going to be at the show tonight? I said, yes. And I was only 14. And he said, I have a surprise for you. So I said, okay. I was so excited. So I'm at the show, watching the show with my family, and he's going to perform a skit, and he needs a volunteer. So I raise my hand and he comes and he gets me to volunteer with him. So it was complete improv and it was so much fun. And that hooked me in. I was like, I loved being on stage. I wasn't afraid. I'd never been on stage before. I'd gone to private school all my life, so we didn't have like drama in school or anything. So he got me on stage and I improvised with him a skit and I had the time of my life. And it was then that I found out that like, wow, I want to be a part of this world. So I also went to private high school that didn't really have much in the performing arts, but it did have a drama class and you can take it as an elective. But I really wanted to go to college because I thought I wanted to be just an elementary school teacher, not an acting teacher at the time. So I was like, you know, I have to get in all my other credits that are really important for college. And I was a good student, so I really cared about my grades. And so all through high school, I kept putting the drama on, you know, kept waiting to take that drama class. So I was only able to take it my senior year in high school. So finally, my senior year, I signed up for drama. I also signed up for a speech class, which really helped me to be able to speak in front of people because I was very, very shy, actually. Never raised my hand in class. I was very quiet. I was just shy. And so my senior year, I signed up for drama. And I loved the teacher. He loved me immediately, which was good. We had a really close bond and I was so into that class. And I didn't audition for the fall play because I was too afraid to not make it and I didn't have any experience. But I did participate in the talent show that year because my teacher pushed me to do a scene from Agnes of God, which was a Catholic school, and we were doing a scene from Agnes of God, which was a little strange, the material. But anyway, I performed the scene with one of my best friends, and we got a standing ovation at the talent show. That was it. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be on stage. I love this feeling. I love like the nervous energy. I love the excitement. So for that spring, I did audition for the school musical, having no musical experience whatsoever, never having taken a dance class in my life, not knowing anything, never singing out loud in front of anyone. Oh gosh, no. And I made it. We did The Boyfriend, the musical The Boyfriend, and I got to play Faye, one of the perfect young ladies. And that's how I got started into acting.
That's amazing. I mean, you hear all the time about how people like, oh, they know from the day they could talk and walk. So it's amazing to hear a story about like maybe you don't get interested in until like, you're a teenager or whatever. Like it's never too late.
Yeah, that was it. And then I never stopped. Like you could ask my parents. I was always reading plays. Then I wanted to go to college for acting, but I was so afraid. So I actually applied to school for teaching first. And then sneakily, in my second year, I switched out of my major and I became a theater major without my parents knowing. But then I told them.
And so do you have a favorite show or role or production you've performed in over the years? Because I know you've done tons and you're still, up before COVID, have been like very active in theater. I just saw you like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate to, I do get cast a lot when I do audition, and it is because I put in the work. You know, if I want a role, first of all, I know myself very well and I'm very realistic and I know if I'm right for the part. I won't audition for something that I know it's like, it's just not, I'm not right for it, you know? I have to have like an emotional like attachment to the part. I have so many favorite roles, to be honest with you, because I've been so fortunate to play such awesome parts. But one of my favorites, maybe I would say, because I even shared this with my class last semester, I did Midsummer Night's Dream. I love Shakespeare. No training in Shakespeare. I had the opportunity to go to the Berkshires once for a summer intensive, and then I forget what got in my way, and I never did, and I do regret that in my life. But anyway, I played Hermia 4 times. I've been lucky to have been cast in the exact same role in the same show 4 times, and I've always had a blast. I just love that role. And I think with Shakespeare, you know, any age can really do it. I just did it with my teens last semester. So we had a blast doing that. Yeah.
Do you find that playing the same role multiple times each time you bring something new to it?
Oh, absolutely. Especially when the entire cast isn't the same cast and you're working differently off each other and different director. Like one version of Midsummer Night's Dream that I did was so crazy. I wasn't used to it at all. I think it was the second time that I ever did Midsummer. The director said to us, I'm not going to give you any blocking. I want you to like feel it or whatever. And I was like, oh God. And he also was challenging us to, in the short rehearsal period we had, I think we had like 3 weeks, I never want to see the same thing. Like just always try to come in a different way, do this. And it was insane. And of course, then we locked it down like the week before like we talked with the director and the assistant director, and we kind of thought like, oh, okay, so coming in from the left was really good. Oh, and that jump was really good. So then, we came up with, something consistent. And so everybody was on the same page, but that made me a little nervous, but that was definitely challenging.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
So you've performed a lot. When did you decide you wanted to become a theater educator and direct theater and teach kids specifically?
Funny story too, actually. So I was on a tour with the Shoestring Players, which they don't exist anymore, but they were a group around for many, many years based out of Rutgers in New Brunswick. And I was on tour, and one of my friends, Dan, was on tour with me, and he worked for my boss, Michelle Oram. And he said, I have a feeling you would be really great with children, because we were doing children's theater 5 days a week for 9 months. I said, I love kids. Oh my gosh. And I love children's theater. He's like, you should really come and meet her. And with your background, I went for my interview with Miss Michelle. She's like, yep, you're hired. So I was very excited. That was in 2001, but I was working with 3 and 4-year-olds for 5 weeks, the same group. So it was kind of like babysitting / put on a show. And it was all day. I think you had the choice of half day or full day, but most of my little guys, they were there all day, and we pulled it off. They were on stage. They performed a little bit of drama, a little bit of dance, some singing. It was very cute. And I loved it. I was hooked. And then, so that was my first experience teaching. That was a summer camp. And then Miss Michelle, she taught me how to, in the after school programs, like a lot of schools have like a 1-hour after school program where you could do drama for an hour. I went with her for about a year and just watched her teach and learned from her on how to pull things off. And then she gave me my own classes. And then eventually I became, after a few years, she put me as the director of our second location for Stage Struck. And then that's when and then after that we moved to the Wharton Center. So a lot of it has to do with Miss Michelle.
Great. Do you have a favorite show or type of show that you like to do with younger students?
I love doing fairy tales. So, most of the children already know those stories. And of course, I never take a script and just, put it on the stage the way it is. I always make it my own. So it's not like, for example, if I were to do Red Riding Hood, we all know kind of the basic story of Little Red Riding Hood, but of course, if I have, a few extra students in my class, I will write a role or a part in for them. And my thing is that I believe, like, the way I have my own children, so I want them always to be treated fairly. So I believe that every child deserves to be on stage for kind of the same amount of time. Some children, that this is what they want, so I can challenge them and give them a bigger part, or, I know that they can handle it. And some children, when they come in, it's their first year, they're a little nervous, I can tell. So I might make their role a little bit smaller, but I always really try to get them on stage, pretty much for an equal amount of time. So I will write in a strange character that comes into the play if I have to for each child. Yeah.
Yeah, you're so good at that. I mean, I always look at your scripts and I'm amazed at how fairly it is distributed. I'm completely on board with you on that. And you always put such funny things. I love how you update things to be more
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, because sometimes when I'm looking for a play, I'll go online and I'll order scripts, and I'll see there's a cast of 10 and 3 of the characters are in the first scene and then that's it. And I'm like, how? That's so unfair. For a class that would never work. So that's why I like to make them my own.
I think that that's great. And you're always super fun with them. I remember a recent production of Rapunzel where she travels through time.
Yes.
Yes. Humor to it, and I know the kids love it and the parents love it. I can't stress enough how great all of your shows that you write for them are. We're so lucky to have you. That must take a lot of work. So you must put in a lot of extra time kind of changing the scripts around and making sure that it's exactly what you want, right?
Yes, I do. It takes many, many hours. It does. I have to say, it takes many hours and quite a few days, but you know what? I love it. I actually love it. That is one of my favorite things to do. If somebody were to give me a 60-page script and they asked me to make it into a 20-page script, I can do it. And I love doing that. I cut out all the unnecessary, get rid of characters, replace things. I can do it. I just did a 25-minute version of Midsummer Night's Dream, So I love cutting scripts and editing.
Yeah, and it was perfect. And watching that show, you wouldn't feel like you missed out on the story. Everything was represented. And it's the perfect time limit for that group of kids, too.
Right. And I've been doing these types of classes for so long that I know it works. And I know it works in our space. You know what I mean? Usually the shows are about 25 minutes long. So I kind of know the drill, if somebody was taking over for me, I would want to be the person that teaches them how you're going to take over for me and what you're going to do and how it works,
Absolutely. So you also, I mean, speaking of putting in a lot of extra time doing the scripts, you also are very busy at home. So you have 4 kids, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep.
All fairly young. Your oldest just graduated from 8th grade. So
Yes.
how do you, I guess that's my question, how do you do it? Because you don't just teach for Wharton either. You also teach for some other schools with after school programs during the year. And how do you manage your time and perform yourself?
My babysitter is amazing. And we miss her so much because I was just telling Timmy earlier, we have not seen her since the 2nd week of March. So I have actually been with my children since March 13th, 24/7. I've never left them anywhere. They haven't gone to any stores. My oldest plays golf with his dad, and that's about it. The other ones have not gone anywhere. But I have an amazing babysitter who, really, I'm not doing this for the money because I pay her when I go to work. It's because I love what I do. And my mom is the best grandma ever. So she helps me out as well when I go to work or after school. And I have a very supportive husband as well. So that's how I do it. And my kids, my 2 oldest, they have been in plenty of my shows. They love it. It's not what they want to do. You could just tell, I know that this is not what they want to do. They do it for fun. In the summer camps, they are so excited to be a part of a show and work with the kids in the theater world, but it's not what they want, but they do it just for fun. So I like to have them involved.
Yeah, that's great. So I would love to open it up to any audience questions for the next couple of minutes before we get started with the actual hands-on activities. In addition, if anybody in the audience is a student of Miss Lilli's or an aspiring actor or anything like that and would like to also be considered to be on screen for the exercise part of the hour, please, you can also put that in the Q&A so that I know to promote you to panelist in a few minutes when we're ready to do that. So while we're waiting for maybe some questions to come in, I have another good one, which I think is really great for anyone who might be watching here because we are an arts education organization. Do you have, or I'm sure you have, lots of advice to give people, but what is the best piece of advice that you could give any aspiring actors or performers that are watching today, whatever age, and even whether they've had experience or not had experience? Like, what's the best advice you could give them?
The best advice I could give them is to follow their dream, just the way I did. Do not let anyone stand in your way. If this is what you want to do, then do it. But one of the most important things about taking, like, if you take an acting class is everyone's born with an imagination. And then when you go into an acting class, it develops like that imagination that you already have. And that's what you need to be an actor. You need to just use your imagination to, become these characters, and, acting is reacting. So how would you react to someone who said something to you as this character? And that's what I love to teach kids, is just let it go and just be in the moment, use your imagination, pretend you're this, and just say it and then react. It develops such social skills, helps with teamwork and self-esteem. I always say that, in the end, life is very short. Do what you love. And that's what I would say. I wouldn't trade what I do for anything. I wouldn't. I love that I had the courage and the guts to follow my dream. So I want everyone to follow their dreams.
A kind of a follow-up on that, Helen asks, what are some of the benefits of studying acting even when you're not an aspiring actor? I know you kind of just mentioned a couple, but can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So even my own children, they're not actors, but oh my goodness, just the voice, like developing, like some children are very shy. I was very shy. I was very soft-spoken. Even at home, I feel like I'm a soft-spoken person, but you put me on the stage and everyone can hear me. So just like projecting your voice, being heard, standing there and letting everyone watch you bring a character to life. So it just helps with social skills and, speaking, self-esteem, all of that I pretty much just said, but absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Great. Someone asks, what was the last show that you did as a performer?
Oh, it was with my very good friend who's passed away since, but it was The Way We Get By. It was that was a play that I did last November 2019. It was a 2-person show, just 2 actors on stage for an hour and a half, and no intermission. And it was such a great story, but it was super challenging because the way the playwright wrote it was constant overlapping of each other's dialogue. So you had to listen and you could not break concentration for a second with that show. There were very little pauses in the show. And once you entered the stage, you never left. So that was an amazing experience. So that was my last theater show that I did. But since then, after that, I did film a commercial that was on YouTube and Hulu for a little while. And that was last summer, a year ago. Haven't done anything since.
Great. Do you have, oh no, I might have another question. Oh, Cecilia asks, what was the worst show you have ever done?
The worst show? Oh, I don't remember the name of it. It was a show, I don't remember the name, but it had to do with 9/11. So it was shortly after 9/11. It was 3 teenage girls who were talking about their experiences after 9/11. And the role that I was cast in, I'm actually 100% Portuguese, but I have actually played a lot of different ethnicities because I have that look. So I played a young Indian girl from India who was here in the United States, and I had a very, very hard time with my accent, learning it for the show. And I thought the material wasn't great, but I did it anyway. And it was, you know, it was for a reputable company. So I did it and I got paid for it. But I did not enjoy that experience. I didn't enjoy the script too much. And I didn't enjoy working with that accent. It was very difficult for me.
Yeah, we can't always control who we get cast as, which is
No.
for you. You deal with this in your classes all the time as well, and you're
Yeah.
not going to disappoint anybody. Piggybacking on that, do you have any advice for, again, people in the audience as to what do you do when you don't get the part that you thought you were supposed to play or wanted to play?
Yeah.
You.
Well, you know, so in this business, I mean, that ugly word rejection is just part of it. You know, you don't always get the part that you want, and either you can just go along with it and, you know, keep the part. Oh, hold on. I have a little visitor. Sorry, that was one of my children. 1 second, I have to close the door.
Miss Lilli's again, if anybody who's not already pre-chosen would like to be up on screen doing the activities in just a couple of minutes, if you haven't already chatted me, let me know, okay? All right, sorry, Lilli, go ahead. And
No, I'm sorry. And my oldest is playing piano downstairs, but this is just part of life right now. So I don't know if you could hear it up here, and I'm sorry if you can. But I always say to my students, this is how I always tell them in class. So for me, it's like I have a puzzle, and every character is a piece in the puzzle, and I have to make it fit. And they all know this spiel already. And I have to make it fit. And you don't always know why the teacher's going to give you that role. Either they want to challenge you, they want to see you do something completely different, or they know that they know that you might be afraid to take on a role like this, but they know that there's something inside of you that you need to do this role for yourself. So they might give you a part like that, or they're just going to give you like a part that you were made for. You never know. And then it also, especially in a class, I can't pick the students that are in my class, but I must give them all a role. So I don't know ahead of time who's going to be right for what. So only after I have my class and once I have my script, then I can move those puzzle pieces around. They all have to fit equally. So then it's their choice to either, you know, go for it, you know, your whole heart in it. You might learn something, you know, you might realize, I've had students say, Miss Lilli, this is not the part I wanted. But then towards the end of class, they're like, I'm so glad you gave me this part. I had so much fun in this role, you know? So I'm like, I know, I knew you would, you know, but a lot of times I say, go for it, because you might learn something from it.
great. And then we have one more question, and then
Sure.
and then as you're answering it, I'm gonna bring our students up on our virtual stage, if you will. So Alex asks, how do you learn accents? Like, how do you prepare? This goes back to you talking about that other show.
Yeah.
How about learning to do an accent?
Yeah, so back in the day when I was in school, we had books and, you know, we learned, you know, from books and rules and books. But now I just feel like it's so much easier because you can go on YouTube really and learn the dialects and the accents right from there. I once had to play in a show called Closer. I played, it was, what kind of London? It was an accent from London, but there was like a specific name for that accent. And I felt like I wasn't getting it. And I really wanted it to be perfect. So I went to a coach in New York and I took lessons with her, and we just drilled like those specific sounds that people from that part of London, how they speak, and I did lessons. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of work. How long did you work on it?
I worked I worked with her for a long time because I wanted it to be perfect. And at the time, I was young. I was in my 20s, like going into the city. And I don't remember where she was, but I remember I used to drive like through the George Washington, and park my car there and pay her $75 an hour. And at the time it was a lot of money, but I just did it. But it was worth it for me. Actually, I did that show twice in my life, so it was worth it. Same role.
Great. All right, so we have some more panelists. Oh, also audience, if you continue to have questions that come to you, or even you're inspired by some activities that Miss Lilli is doing with everyone, you can feel free to put them in the Q&A. If we do have time towards the end, we'll open up the floor again. But we have some additional panelists that have just joined us. Miss Lilli, you're going to do some activities with them. So new panelists, if you could put your videos on so we can see you, that would be great. Oh, hi, there you are. And Miss Lilli, do you want to kind of give a little introduction about what you guys are going to be doing over the next?
Sure. So I have Alex and Holly and Kara, right? Yeah. Hi, guys. I miss you. Okay. So we're going to play a game. Never done this on Zoom, so we'll try it, you guys ever remember playing the game in our class called Three-Headed Expert? Do you remember that?
Maybe.
Or no?
Might have played it one time.
Maybe. Okay, so we're going to try it on here. So this is how the game goes. So Holly, Kara, and Alex, you are going to be one person, but with three heads. Okay? So if we were sitting in our classroom, you would actually have your chairs all next to each other, and you'd probably link arms as well. The thing is, you're only allowed to speak one head at a time. So if I ask you a question like, what is your name? And it's always best to answer in a full sentence. My name is blank. You know what I mean? So one at a time. So just because of how I'm watching you on my screen, I would have Holly go first, Kara go second, and Alex go third. Now, the other thing is, so you're an expert on a specific subject thing, and we'll get that from the audience or from Miss Timmy, so we don't know because this is going to be pure improv. And you're on a talk show, and I will be the talk show host, so I will interview you. The thing is, you have to answer one head at a time, one word at a time, okay? So if I were interviewing you, and I'll probably ask you your name as the first question, you would answer Holly first, then Kara, then Alex. And it would be like, my name or our name is blah, blah, blah. Okay, do you understand? One word at a time? Yes. And it should make grammatical, so it should make grammatical sense, your sentence, but it doesn't have to make like common sense. It could be out of this world. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. And I think that's it. We'll ask like 3 questions. It should be just a fun, silly game. Okay. So the first thing I need is you can unmute your microphones. So Karen, Alex, okay. And the other thing I'm going to need is, what are you an expert at? So either the audience can, and I don't know how this works because I can't see the audience, but the audience could give me an idea, or Miss Timmy could give me an idea. What is this three-headed expert an expert on?
Audience, why don't you send suggestions in the Q&A box? So what are they an expert in? We'll give you a couple seconds to answer. How about cooking?
Cooking, okay. All right. So welcome everyone to our show. How are you all doing today? We are doing great. Today we have this amazing expert. It's a three-headed expert on cooking. And I'd like to introduce you to our three-headed expert. Can you please say hello and introduce yourself with your name, three-headed expert?
Hello.
Kara.
Hello.
I am
Kara.
Hello, hello. I am Kara. Do you have a last name, three-headed expert? Alex, we go to you.
No, I do not have a last name.
Wait, you can only speak one word at a time, remember?
Oh,
I know. That's what's hard about this game. So not only do you have to
so I'm not in
listen
control
to
of how this goes.
I know. So not
Yeah,
only
me
do you have
neither.
to
It's
listen
complicated.
to what the person before you said so that it makes sense, but you also it's like
Oh,
you
that makes
can't-
more sense. Okay.
you understand? You can't plan ahead because you have no idea what the person before you is going to say. So right now we're introducing our three-headed expert, and as of right now we said hello. I am Kara. Last name, Alex?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome to our show, Kara. Yes, it's so nice to have you. Could you please tell us what is your favorite thing to cook? Go back to Holly. One word at a time.
our
Favorite
Dish
two
cook.
is
filet mignon.
Oh, delicious. Do you have any special ingredients that you put in there to make it your signature dish? Kara?
We
always
Add
some
hints
of
eggs.
Oh, you always add some hints of eggs. That sounds delicious, I tell you. Okay, is there an audience member that would like to ask our three-headed expert on cooking a question? Is that too much to ask, Timmy, or no? If I ask the audience.
No, that's fine. We just got to
Okay, they might have a question.
Someone ask the cooking expert monster a question. Where do you like to vacation?
Oh, where do you like to vacation, Miss Kara?
We
enjoy
vacationing
in
the
Bahamas.
Oh, the Bahamas. Sounds like fun. Never been there. Okay, and I'm going to ask one last question. Now, I know that you are a three-headed expert, but is there one head in particular that does most of the thinking, or do you all think equally? Is there one person in charge? Just curious. Kara, we'll start with you.
we
like
Two
all
speak
our
We all like to speak our
ideas.
ideas
equally.
equally. Oh, well, that's very nice. Well, thank you so much. It was so nice to get to know you. Thank you so much for being on our show. Yay. And that's the three-headed expert on Zoom.
And so, Lily, could you talk a little? I would love to hear from all four of you, actually. So, first of all, why did you pick that exercise? And then I would love to hear what the experience was like for the three of you and why it's challenging.
So I picked the exercise because I thought I was going to have about 3 panelists that would help me out. This exercise works in class. And when I knew that I was probably going to demonstrate a game or two on Zoom, I went through all of my lists of games, and it was very difficult to decide which ones might work this way because, as you know, I didn't teach the last semester because of having my own kids at home and teaching them, and I had substitutes, but I watched the performances of my classes, and I saw how difficult it is to just make sure that you could hear the person who's speaking before you and then reacting off of that. So I thought that this might be one that would work. What did you guys think? Did you think this was hard? I know you didn't understand the game 100% right at the beginning, but did you think this was hard, or I thought it went actually very smoothly? What did you think?
I think it worked.
Yeah, me too.
I think it worked really well. At first I was a little confused, but I've done some things like it before in your class, so I was kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so, you're welcome.
Yeah, it went pretty well.
I think so. Holly?
I agree. It was fun because like we had to use our imagination and try to kind of like think ahead about what people were going to say.
Yeah, but you have no idea what they'll say, right?
Right.
You really can't plan too much. Like you could say, oh, I wanted our name to be like Luann, you know? You don't know, you know? So you have to go along. You have to accept every offer that's given to you, right? And just go with it. Yeah, so I think this one worked, Timmy.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
You have another game that you want to play with them?
I do. Let me see. I wrote something down. How much? We have 15 minutes. I could do kind of like a longer game, maybe. And then I have like a shorter one. I think I'll do like the longer one and see if it takes sense. Okay. So this is another one that I have never done on Zoom either, but it's also one that I do in class. Not sure if I've ever done it with you guys in particular, but I definitely do it. Did we ever play LOW, the game LOW? So it's location, occupation, and what?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I have
usually,
not.
probably not, Kara. This I think I do with my teens more, but that's okay. So this game, I usually bring little bags, little paper bags to class, and one is labeled location, one is labeled with occupation, and the other one is what. And inside each bag, in the location bag, I have different, you know, I write out different locations, or I have the kids write them, and then the O is occupation, children will write them or I'll write them, and then the what is usually like a prop, like anything that can fit in the bag. Like here I have like my daughter's little wands, you know, so it, you know, I'd stick it in the bag and that would be a what. So usually we create a scene, location, and with 3 people, and one person's in charge of the location, one the occupation, and the other one the what. Now, I thought, oh, we can't do a scene when I'm just demonstrating a game. So I thought of a different type of version of this game. So this is how it will work. Okay. I will come up with a location, an occupation, and an item. And this is how it'll work. I'm going to have only one panelist watch me the first time. I'm not allowed to speak in English. I can only speak in sounds or gibberish. You know what that is, right, guys? A made-up language. Gibberish is like, that's how you speak in gibberish. You make it up. Or sometimes kids are uncomfortable speaking in gibberish, so you can speak in numbers if that's uncomfortable, like 5, 6, 7, you know, if you're uncomfortable with doing the gibberish. But I'm gonna start like this. So I'll have Holly, you can go first, and I'll have Alex and Kara turn their backs while I do this, but don't do it yet. Not yet, but yes, perfect, Kara, yeah. Don't do it yet. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, almost like charades, I'm going to pantomime or talk to Holly about my location, then my occupation, then my what, okay? Now, Holly, you can just either, I think this might be easy. When you think you have my location, give me like a thumbs up nice and close so I know I can move on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you're gonna have to do is, if you have a piece of paper and a pen, you can write it down if you think you'll forget what you think it is, or if not, oh, perfect. Or you could just keep it in your brain, okay? When I'm finished and Holly has all 3 of mine guessed, Alex, you're going to turn around and I'll call you. I'll say, Alex, we're ready for you. And then Holly is going to do the same 3 for you. And you're going to have to try to guess the same 3. Then when you're finished, Kara's going to do it. And let's see if you all guessed correctly. Is that good?
Yeah.
You understand? Okay. So Alex and Kara, turn around. Okay. Good. No cheating. All right. Holly, I'm going to talk in gibberish if I have to, or just make sounds. But
Okay.
we're going to start with location. You give me a thumbs up. Then occupation, thumbs up. And the last one is the thing. Okay. Oh, I forgot one thing. Once you, Kara and Alex, can you turn around for one? This is just for fun. Once you guess the thing, so say it was like a wand, right? And I'm not going to have it. I'm going to pantomime it. Once you guess the thing at the very end, so I know that you're done, Holly, I want you to bonk me with the thing. Okay, I want you to use it like a weapon, and bonk me with it so we know we're done. And I'll do a little ah. All right? Just for fun. The thing, with the thing, with the what? All right, guys, turn around. Back to the audience, okay? Ready, Holly?
As I'll ever be.
Oh, okay. ¿Dónde que te vale? La 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 la. Ooh la la. Ha. Oh, because you bought the boat on. Ooh, itty booty, itty. Ooh, beauty. Atty, atty, body, pretty, wee. Aha. Oof. Atty, gutty, body, oh. Sitita. Hey. Ati? What? Hana? Huh? What? Hana? Huh? Ah, okay. All right, Alex.
I'm ready.
Location, occupation, and the what?
There. Let me move this chair first. Okay. Okay, I'll do it like this, I guess. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, Kara. Okay, location, then occupation, and then the what?
Okay. I am very confused.
There's no gibberish.
I'm just like,
Great without talking.
Can you see her? I can't see that much of her. I can't see that much of Alex. So I don't know if you want to come up a little higher, Alex.
I'll come up.
okay. I don't have the thing in the room I'm in.
Do you
Yeah, I
think
was
you
a
have
little
like
confused on number 3 as well.
That's
so I just
okay.
kinda-
That's okay because that's part of it for here for us with Zoom. It's like almost like charades. Like,
Yeah.
Miss Timmy, do you think you know any of them?
Ooh. I mean, so it's a
The location.
an igloo.
What did you guys have? Holly, did you have Igloo? Did you write it down?
I wrote down the Arctic.
Okay, close enough. Yeah, Alex,
I had an igloo.
you had Igloo. How about you, Kara?
I did the Arctic too.
Oh, good. It was Igloo. Yeah. All right. What about the occupation? What did you think, Miss Timmy?
Do you want me to go first? I thought it was dancer.
Me
Uh-huh.
too.
Okay, Holly, did you say you too?
Oh no, I thought it was.
Oh,
I thought
Alex.
it
You
Yeah,
thought it
I
was
said dancer
yeah.
too.
Dancer and Holly?
I wrote dancer / ballerina.
Yeah, so it was dancer.
Oh.
All right, not bad. And then what about the thing, the what? That was the hard one.
That was
Okay.
really hard. I put a bat.
I thought it was a
Bat.
shovel.
A shovel. That's what I thought you thought. What about you, Holly?
I wrote like a spear with a fish on it.
Oh, wow. Miss Timmy, did you have a different one?
I had a very different one, and now I'm feeling self-conscious about it.
No, you're probably right. What was
It
it?
was a plunger.
Yes, that's what it was. It was.
Oh,
plunger.
that makes sense.
So I was.
That was-
See, but so I feel like, so if I was in a class, I'd probably run this game a little bit differently. I just wanted to like a demonstration of how you move your body. But also, if they were in my class, you better believe I would make them do some gibberish with that because
Yeah.
all of a sudden they got kind of shy and there was like no talking. But, you know, I would get them like in class, we would have definitely pushed it where they would be definitely using their gibberish. So as you saw, sometimes that really helps because I think for Holly, when I was doing like, because obviously I'm in like this tight little area right here, but like the dancing, I added a little bit of singing to go with it. You know what I mean? Just to give you more of a feel of what it might be, right? Yeah, so I thought that was fun. Of course, we forgot to bonk each other with the plunger, but that's okay since we didn't all know that it was a plunger, and that's fine. That was something I threw in at the very end, but that's okay. Yeah, so that's that, Miss Timmy.
I thought it worked really, really well. It's amazing how things can be adapted for an online platform. And I think all three of you have had students have had experiences with that this semester.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, I always have so much fun teaching you guys that actually I really enjoyed it today because I missed it all last semester. So it was so much fun.
Does anyone in the audience have any last minute questions for either our student participants and also big round of applause. Thank you for being Miss Lilli's guinea pigs and coming on and exercises with her. I mean, I know you love her and you miss her. We all do, but thank you so much. I know it's kind of like, there's people watching and everything, so we really appreciate you doing it. And also, do any of you have any comments about what it has been like working on Zoom or playing these games modified online? You don't have to if you don't have anything.
It's like on Zoom, like it was fun. Although I missed like the person-to-person interaction, like physically that we do in our shows. So I missed that, but it still went well. Our last show that we did on Zoom, I'd say it went.
Yeah. It's very different doing it on Zoom versus in person, but I think Wharton's doing a great job, making it so that we're still having a lot of fun, and
given the
circumstances we came with what we have.
Thanks.
Circumstances we're in right now.
Thank you all so much for being here. Big round of applause. Thank you for Miss Lilli.
You're welcome.
So informative. We love having you with us. Thank you so much for being here. Do you have any last words for the audience before I wrap it up?
No, it was my pleasure. And if you can't tell, I do love what I do. And I love working with kids. And I just can't wait for everything to go back to normal because I do miss, like Holly said, the, person-to-person interaction a lot. And, obviously in theater, it's very, you're very close to working with people, comfortable touching and everything like that. So I do miss that a lot and I can't wait to get back to it.
Great. Thanks,
Thanks,
so
Timmy.
much for being here. Oh, it does look like we do have something in the Q&A. Oh, hold on. I can't see it like this. Helen just says, thank you so much for this fun session, Miss Lilli, and the audience for being here. Remember, we will be here every Wednesday throughout the summer, all the way through August from 4 to 5 p.m. And we're also, if you miss it, we are streaming live to YouTube, which you can watch later always. And we are also uploading the videos to YouTube. I think I said it opposite. We're streaming live to Facebook. We're uploading to YouTube. So you can always go back and rewatch there. And the whole series will be there by the end of the summer. Next week, we have Marissa McGowan and Michael Mendez coming in. They're going to have a fun talk with me about their experiences and careers working on Broadway and being a couple that's both working performers. So it's going to be a ton of fun. And please come back and join us. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. We also have summer camps that are running all through the summer, virtually, of course. Next week, I am teaching a camp called Summer Scenes and Solos. The theme is Moana. There are still some spots, although they are going pretty fast. The camp is from 9 to 12 every day, Monday through Friday. We're going to do a big production on Zoom at the end of the week. After that, I'm teaching a Little Shop of Horrors 2-week Summer Scenes and Solos. We also have our weekly Theater Explorers with a different theme every week, and Monologue Workshop, which is at the very beginning of August. All of these webinars we're offering you for free. Thank you so much for being here. Please keep coming back. If you would like to donate to us, we are a nonprofit arts organization. You can text music to 74121. Any money that we get through these webinars, this webinar series is going directly to our scholarship fund to help students that need helping, and because we want to give access to music and theater to everyone that wants to be there. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Wonderful, Miss Lilli. We love you. Thank you. Have a great
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Miss you too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.